Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am jeffgrantMEDIA. In today's first look, we have another package from Aught Design. Now, Tad did send me this N-1 deck jacket as a sample for review, but all the opinions in this video are mine and mine alone. I did not share this content with Aught Design prior to publication. They will see this when you do. In addition to that, if you are considering buying this Watchman N-1 deck jacket or any other product from Aught Design, please consider using the affiliate link in the description box down below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but I do get a small percentage of that sale kicked back to me, and all that money goes back to the channel to help me produce more content so consumers can make informed purchasing decisions. All right, so this is now my third package I think I've gotten from Aught Design, and I have been thoroughly impressed with everything that I have seen from them and everything that I've gotten. I'm wearing the Highland CW shirt right now. Great high quality stuff. I knew of them from the bag world. I was a bag nerd. I'm still a bag nerd. But I did backpack reviews for a long time, and Tad was one of the bags companies. They have several models that I wanted to try, and I've tried a couple that I always wanted to test out. And when my partnership began, that's where I started with bags. But now we're moving into clothing, and the N-1 deck jacket that is inside this bag is going to be very handy for me because it's like 26 degrees outside right now, and I'm done being cold. So this is going to be a good upgrade for these long, cold winter days and nights that are still ahead of us because it's only December. We got a lot of winter left. But without further ado, let me stop rambling and let's open this bag on up. Ooh, 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 ooh. That is nice, and I don't even have my paws on the actual jacket yet. Oh man, what do we have? The Watchtower N-1 deck coat in Chimera, size large. Oh, wow. That feels nice. That collar feels very, very comfortable. Ooh. Oh, we got pit vents here. I did not notice the pit vents in the original images. That's nice. That will certainly come in handy if I get a little too warm, because this is going to be a very warm jacket, so that'll help to vent some of that heat out so I don't sweat inside the jacket. But, oh yeah, we got snap closure pockets. We have a button closure storm flap over our zipper. Ooh, and this I did notice, and I like this. This is pretty interesting. I like the way that Tad does their buttons. It's the same thing they do in the Highlands CW shirt, and what it is the buttons are on this like daisy chain strip here. So you kind of have the buttons sewn through these little loops on the daisy chain, and I think it's really cool. It's really interesting. That was the first time I ever saw anything like that, was when I got the Highland CW shirt, and I was really surprised. They feel a little different in the hands. Now I can say that the buttons on the shirt do have a little bit more of a give. I can kind of actually stick like a whole finger underneath those, but the ones on the N-1 deck jacket, there is a little gap, but it's not nearly as big. I can't fit a finger underneath them, so it's interesting. I really like the design. It's really cool. But we also, that storm flap, it covers up this nice beefy zipper, and we'll get into all of the features and why they're here, but let's take it all in first. Let's just examine this thing. So this is the Chimera colorway, which is essentially a tan colorway. We have the pit vents on the back. We have gusseted shoulders here for extra mobility. And you can see there's also the pit vents on the back side. So we have a pit vent on the back of the pit and towards the front of the pit. So that'll help me vent out. And these are nice deep gussets. Like this actually goes in, like that goes down. So there's a lot of room here for you to move, which would come in very handy if you were wearing this on the deck of a Navy ship. But let's take a look at the inside here now. So let's pop that puppy on open. Oh, that's nice. We have some extra buttons here. We have two. I believe that's going to be for like the neck button, and then we have a larger one that is a replacement for the actual buttons. We do have, what is the one here? Okay, so we do have one interior snap pocket that is corduroy lined on the front facing. So the back facing is This is probably a cotton or a poly. I can't really tell. My hands are cold. I can't feel much right now, but the front side is going to be corduroy lined. So you would put that, your like cell phone media pocket, put your screen facing up there. And I believe the sleeves are a insulated poly lined sleeve with a shearling lining in the body. Now taking a look at the sleeves here, we appear to just have a regular cuff of a jacket. But what we actually have here is a storm cuff. Underneath there, we have this elastic ribbed cuff that's going to secure the sleeve around your wrist and keep any wind or weather from going up your sleeve. But over that, we have this extra storm cuff layer, which is going to help to protect that material. It's going to give it a little bit more weather resistance because this jacket is treated, so it's going to be a bit weatherproof. And if anything is a weak point on the jacket, it's going to be the cuffs. And not because it's a cheaply made material, but that's going to take the brunt of the wear. As you're working, as you're moving around, you're doing stuff. A deck jacket is made to be worked in, so that is going to be rubbing and touching a lot of things as they're working on the decks of these Navy ships. So that would wear quicker because it's the wrist at your cuff. You don't believe me? Take a look at just about any jacket you have that you actually do any type of physical activity in. You're going to have the cuffs are probably going to be the most worn part of the jacket, and they're going to wear out the quickest. Now, what is a Navy deck jacket? Well, actually, Michael at the Iron Snail just dropped a video on deck jackets himself. There's a lot of good, useful information there. So if you want to see the whole history of what an actual Navy deck jacket is, you can check that out right here. But we can do a quick rundown version of it now. Now, the N-1 deck coat essentially replaced the P coat for service members working on the decks of warships. Now, while the P coat is awesome, it's probably one of my favorite coats of all time, and one that I generally wear when it's this cold outside. It's not the most functional piece of outerwear to be wearing on deck while you're trying to, fend off enemies on an active warship. So the deck jacket or deck coat was a necessary upgrade for those working on the decks of ships. Now, the overall aesthetic, it's shorter, it's boxier, so you have more range of motion. Now, some of the key features that were built into this to assist in seamen doing their job is we do have a nice, bulky, heavyweight zipper to make sure that the jacket stays closed. But salt water is very caustic to metal, so we need to protect the zipper so it doesn't freeze closed and you're trapped in your jacket, and so it doesn't just deteriorate from the salt air. That's where the storm flap comes in. So now we have a storm flap that we can now button close with non-metallic buttons, so we are protecting our zipper because we are using non-metallic buttons, so the buttons themselves are not going to rust and erode from the nasty salt water that's going to be getting and freezing on these. In addition, they will potentially still freeze because that salt water, if it's cold enough, it's going to freeze, but the non-metallic, they're less likely to freeze, and it's going to be easier to get the jacket on and off and have less repairs. We also have the storm flaps that are protecting our elastic ribbed cuffs. Now, the ribbing on the cuff keeps the water and wind from blowing up your sleeve and getting you colder, but it is a weak point because it is a high touch, high contact area. So you extend the storm flap over it, so it gives you a little bit more water resistant abilities because the jacket is treated, but it also is protecting that nylon ribbed cuff from wearing out as quickly. In addition, we have our shearling collar that we can pop, and we have our button on the side, so we can pop that, and we can button our collar up. If I can do this with freezing cold hands because it's like 26 degrees, so there we go. So now we have, if we're all the way buttoned up, our zipper is protected. We are using non-metallic buttons so they're not going to corrode, and then we can pop up our shearling collar to keep any of that wind from going down the back of our neck, or keeping some of that water from also going down the back of our neck. And that is essentially why we have an N-1 Navy deck coat, and in the short form anyway. Okay, with that out of the way, let's try it on for the first time and run through a few of the specs and features. For point of reference, I am 5'9", roughly 175 to 180 pounds, and I am wearing a size large. So sliding the jacket on for the first time, it went on great. It feels pretty good. I feel like the large is just about the exact size that I needed. I do have plenty of room in here, so I can still layer. I am only wearing the Triple Aught Design Highland shirt with a t-shirt underneath, but there is enough room under here for me to put on a hoodie or a sweater. And even with that extra room, the jacket does not look bulky or sloppy on me. So yes, the size large is pretty good, and I think these are fitting true to size. Now the comfort, it is really nice. If I try to move my arms, I can feel that I have plenty of slack there, so those gussets on the back shoulders are coming in very handy. And again, if I were to be working on the deck of a Navy ship, I would certainly need that extra mobility. The length on the sleeves is nice, the storm flaps look really good, and I can still slide my wrist out and look at my watch no problems, and my watch ducks back in relatively unrestricted from that cuff. The cuff does give me enough slack there that my watch did mostly slide back in with a minimal adjustment. The front hand warmer pockets are corduroy lined, so they are feeling nice on my hands, and they are deep enough that I can keep a pair of gloves in here or secure my car keys. Now the collar is nice. It is a shearling line collar, and if we pop it up, we will see that there is this extra little flap here on the left side. If we unbutton that, that is used to secure the collar around your neck so it will not blow off, and it will keep you nice and toasty warm while you're working on the deck of said Navy ships. Using that neck flap in conjunction with the storm flap to protect your zipper, you are going to stay nice and toasty warm while you are working on the decks of those ships, and you're still going to be able to get out of your jacket at the end of the day when all of that salty sea air is frozen to your jacket. And if I don't need to have the collar flipped up, I can just unbutton that snap, reattach it to the button underneath the collar, and I can pop that back down, and that extra flap is secured out of the way. Now I am trying this jacket on indoors, and I have only had it on for a few minutes, and I can already feel the temperature of my body heating up. So this jacket certainly is going to be a nice warm jacket for any of those cold days and nights that I have ahead of me. The interior is really, really nice. The shearling feels really nice against the skin, and I'm really, really enjoying what I'm seeing here. Now the Triple Aught Design Watchman N-1 deck coat comes in at $395 USD. Is available in Phantom, Black, or Chimera as seen here. The main body of the jacket is made from a 100% cotton Bedford cord that is manufactured at the Brisbane Moss Mill in Lancashire, UK. The shearling lining on both the Phantom and the Chimera colorways is 59% acrylic and 41% polyester, where the black colorway is 68% polyester and 32% wool. The sleeve lining is a nylon quilt with 80 grams of polyester insulation, with a nylon elastane ribbing at the cuffs. The pockets feature a 100% cotton 8-whale corduroy liner. The jacket features a YKK zipper for the main closure and tad slotted buttons for the storm flap. And this jacket is made in the UK. Now my overall first impressions of the Triple Aught Design Watchtower N-1 deck coat are incredibly positive. This thing is made amazingly. So far, I have been so incredibly pleased with the quality of the clothing that Triple Aught Design has been putting out. Again, I came from the bag world, so I knew about their bags. I was always aware they made clothing, but it was never something that I had looked into until I started reviewing menswear. And then, the wheels started turning, and I said, hey, I'm taking a closer look. Tad actually has some pretty badass looking coats and jackets and shirts and whatnot. So yeah, I started putting in some requests for a few things, and the N-1 deck jacket is something I'm surprised I didn't request sooner, because it's already been pretty cold, and this would have been really nice to have the past few weeks when it was like a low of 8 degrees a couple days. This would have been great. But overall, first impressions, this thing is amazing. I have been blown away by both the wearability and quality of the past two tops, not just the shirt, but also the other jacket that I had gotten from Triple Aught Design. Has been amazing quality, and this thing, it fits, it feels great. Now, it does look a bit boxy on me right now, but it is brand new. So I think after I wear this for probably a week or two as this kind of breaks in a little bit. I feel like this is going to lay a little bit better over the body. So if I had to get nitpicky and pick one thing about the jacket as a point of note, I would say, like many jackets, it is stiff and it just needs to be broken in. So I figure about a week or so of wear, this thing is going to be broken in. It's going to start laying very, very nicely on the body. So overall, first impressions are incredibly positive, and this is going to be installed today because I'm about to head out the door to take Miss Hazel Fantastic to school and go to work. Yes, I decided that I needed to rip this before I went to work because I wanted to wear this today because it's only 26 degrees outside. So I gotta go grab my bag and head out the door. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.